curious about your spirit guides, who they are, who they aren't, how to connect to them? So many people are. So today we're going to take some time to get answers to those questions and also practice a quick, short meditation to connect with them. I'm Emily Snyder from Connected Intuition. I'm a psychic medium for pets and people, and I like to help people connect to their own intuitive psychic gifts. So, first, let's answer the question, what are spirit guides and what are they not? Different cultures interpret spirit guides differently, but there is some consensus. Mainly, they're thought of as non physical beings. So, energy that does not have a body, that is here to help us, to guide us, to give us support from the other side. In spiritualism, they believe that they are spirits who are sent here to guide us, but that they would have potentially been a human being or had a physical body in a past life. In many cultures, it's actually our ancestors who act as spirit guides. So either our grandparents, great grandparents, et cetera, back up our family tree that are sent to help us and guide us through our life. In most metaphysical modern literature, the way that we're thinking about them now, spirit guides are described as beings who offer intuition, intuitive moments, emotional support. They help us align on our life path and they give us those gentle nudges when we most need it. So, what is my definition? I believe that spirit guides are fundamentally here to support us and help us. And they may be ancestors, they may not be. They may be humans who've lived before, they may not be. It honestly doesn't actually matter to me. What I care most about is the support and guidance that they give us from the other side. My spirit guides have helped me with clarity and alignment first and foremost, helping me kind of see solutions to problems, helping me understand my next step. And that's been the most rewarding part of my work with spirit guides. They guide us, they give us a better path, show us the way forward. They give us support, words or feelings of comfort, images that bring back memories of things that you hold most dear. They also nudge. If you've ever gotten kind of that nudge from a spirit guide, that's to say, notice this, notice me, notice you. That is a beautiful way that they can communicate. The final is to encourage. I have gotten so many moments of just like fireworks going off in my mind. Yes, you're doing it right. Congratulations. And that is so reassuring, especially in times where there's a lot going on. Most importantly, and I want to hone in on this fact, spirit guides come to us and communicate to us in any means possible to help us. Their goal in all of this is to be helpful, to guide, to support. You should never hear any words that scare you or make you feel uncomfortable from a spirit guide. It's also keen to note that these are intelligent souls and entities. They know way more than you do. So if you're getting kind of a sign or a symbol that seems really simplistic, it may be more that you are not getting the full message. And finally, if you ask, they will answer. Now, how that answer comes through is sometimes not straightforward or not maybe how you wanted it to come through. But if you ask, they will try to get you the answer. How does this show up for me? For me, I have met them through deep meditation where my mind is completely clear and I've spent 30 minutes getting to this place of where I meet my spirit guides and I have these very thorough conversations. That is very helpful, especially in the beginning. But what I hope for everyone is what I now have, which is kind of like almost a little tiny door in my brain that I open up and say, hey, I've got this situation. Like, how am I supposed to approach this email? Or what idea do you have about this thing? And I get an answer back. I get like a little ping, a nudge, a something, a word that makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing, or it gives me a little bit more clarity on a question I'm answering. I hope for everybody that you move to kind of a more daily interaction with that spirit guide or that helper versus having to go into a deep meditation for 30 minutes. All right, let's clear up some misconceptions with spirit guides because those are just as important. Number one, spirit guides are not fortune tellers. They're not going to tell you all the information. They're not here to live your life for you or to make it super easy. That's not their goal. Their goal is to help you on your path and help you learn your life's lessons of this lifetime, but it's not to give you all the answers. You'll never hear a spirit guide say, you have to do it this way or this one way is the only way. They're more like a nudge. Here, this is the way, this is the path. It's not, you must. Number two, and I mentioned this earlier, they are not here to scare you. They are not here to give you a fright or to show up late at night and kind of loom over your bed. That's not their intention. So if you ever feel that they're too close to you or it's frightening to you, all you have to say is back up or I need some space, or I'm turning this off.
So if you ever feel a little scared, just know your boundaries. I've done a couple videos on that. It's worth kind of checking out. Spiritual.
Number 4 is they do not expect perfection from you. So if you're thinking, if I don't follow my spirit guides, I'm disappointing someone, oh my gosh, I have to do what they say. That's not it at all. They, again, are just here to help. So don't feel like you've got to do it exactly right. And they're not expecting perfection from you. Part of this earth experience, this human experience, is making mistakes. It's okay. They're just here to help guide you on your path. Number 5, they do not cancel your free will. You are 100% okay to make whatever choice you want to make. The spirit guide is not dictating that. You are a human on this earth and you can make whatever choice feels right to you. If it's something that you keep asking about and you keep ignoring their advice and they keep giving you the same advice, that's a little bit different because you're still curious, but you're not following through. So they're like, what else do you want from me? I'll give you a perfect example. Well, I was hearing from spirit guides very early on that I needed to quit my full-time job. And I was just like, I am not ready. I don't know if I can do that. I know that's what my heart wants and maybe what my soul wants, but my financial self and my family self was not ready to make that move. Now, I kept getting that same advice. And then what I said back to them was, show me the way, guide me there, show me how to unfold this to go from 0 to 100. I need you to give me the 100 tiny little steps along the way. And they did. And it was so helpful. So if you're feeling like the advice you're getting from a spirit guide is not checking right now or it's too hard, ask them to break it down. Open that up to a conversation and see what comes through. Number 6, spirit guides will never call out that you're a special, unique flower that deserves X, Y, and Z and kind of like butter you up with way too much flowery language. They will more say, follow this path. We're here for you. Reach for the warmth when you struggle. But their language is neutral. You're not going to feel scared, but you're also not going to feel like the only thing since sliced bread.
It's more like opening the door to a path and pushing you outside than it is putting you up on a pedestal or shoving you down into the ground. Let's try to answer a few common questions around spirit guides as well. The first one is, are my spirit guides the same thing as my intuition? Technically, no. Spirit guides are souls or entities that potentially lived on this earth before, but they are their own separate energy source. They could be ancestors or loved ones who've passed. Whereas your intuition is kind of your own internal voice, your higher self, something along those lines that is connected to you versus another energy. It can be very difficult in the beginning to tell the difference between those two and to fully understand if it's a spirit guide speaking to you or if it's your own intuitive voice, especially if you're just getting like brief downloads. It's not really important to be able to tell the difference in the beginning. I will say I was super curious and wanted to know the difference. And I think a lot of people do. They want to know who's guiding them versus what is the information they're getting for themselves. And some of these exercises that I do on my channel here will help you kind of figure that out, but it isn't necessary. Another big question we get is, can my relatives be spirit guides? I think this is somewhat of a controversial one for some people. I fully believe that they can. And I say this talking to my godmother all the time. She's my aunt on my mother's side. And I get so much advice from her. So whether or not she fits the definition of a spirit guide, I don't really actually care. She does function as one for me. And I've known that to be true of a lot of friends and relatives that I've talked to. The other thing I will say about this is having done, hundreds of mediumship readings in the past, our relatives who had a connection to you want to help you in this life. They've been through the human life. They understand how hard it is, and they really do want to help you. So know that if you're experiencing something that feels like a relative close by, it's coming from just a place of wanting to help. I get this one all the time. How many guides do I have? And my best answer to that is, I don't know. I don't know if we know how many guides every single person has. I've been told it's upwards of 200. I've told it's limitless. I've been told many different numbers. I will tell you from my own experience, I would say I've talked to about 8 to 10 of my own guides, but I don't know how typical that is of the scope of how many guides that you have. The one thing I will say is there are some people that come forward with a collective. So spirit guides coming to talk to them as a collective. A very famous medium named Suzanne Giesman is one that talks a lot about this. She has a spirit guide collective named Sanaya, and she does podcasts on this, and she's way more famous than me. And you can go see all of the work she does with her spirit guides. But it is a grouping, a collective, and she talks about that as well. That it's not like she's singling out an individual. For me, I do get the individuals and I do get visuals on each of them, but everybody is different. Another question, do I have my same guides my whole life?
Some people do. Some guides you have your whole life. I can tell you, I feel like my main guide has been with me my entire life. Is that typical? Probably. We don't know. Everybody is slightly different, but there are some guides that come and go. I will tell you, in times where I've needed to kind of go into battle, I've had what I feel like is a spirit guide behind me that is ready to go into battle. So here's another one. What if my spirit guide appears to me as a Native American, an angel, a light, a color? Is that who they really are? The short answer to that is probably not. They are coming to you in an appearance that you can understand. If you have your own interpretation of what an angel means to you, what an angel provides for you, that spirit guide's going to present themselves in that way so that you can understand that information. Like I just said, I usually have a warrior spirit guide coming to me in times I needed to go do battle. And she came dressed in battle armor because I knew she was there to help me walk into that meeting and crush that thing I was about to do. And I knew based on her visual what she was sent to do. That doesn't mean that that's who she was in life. And that doesn't mean that, that's the case for every single one of your spirit guides. From my understanding, the physical body doesn't really mean anything on the other side. So they're basically just showing you a visual of how you would interpret their work in your life. Do spirit guides get extra training? From what I've heard, yes, spirit guides actually do get some extra training in order to be in this kind of exalted position. Um, have I felt that? Yeah, I definitely have with my main guide. I wouldn't say it's with every single one, but I definitely feel that there's an intelligence and a presence that is just kind of supersedes anything I'm capable of. So I do feel that presence being super specific, super educated, super intelligent around me. And so for that, I would say yes, it does feel like they do get additional training where they're allowed into this position. All right, this last question is a funny one. Can famous people be guides? The answer is yes, they can. You can actually ask for famous people to come forward and ask for their opinion on X, Y, and Z. So let's say you're a musician and you want help on a new album. You could say, hey, Elvis Presley, I'm writing this rock and roll album. Here's where I'm stuck. This is everything that's going on. Can you give me advice? And chances are he'd come and he may come and answer. It's not 100% guaranteed, but much like a mediumship reading, he could come forward and give you some advice. The sum of all this is if you do get a famous person as a guide, congratulations. It doesn't really mean that you're special though, because kind of anybody could ask for it and get that help from anyone who is available. Let's move on to part number 3, the how spirit guides communicate. Now, just a note that most communication from the spirit world is subtle. It is quiet, it's gentle nudges. It's not usually screaming from the rooftop. So, as I'm mentioning these things and I'm talking about tingling, it might be the gentlest tingling on your shoulder. It may not be just like, oh my goodness, I can feel it everywhere. They also give you emotions in your body. So if you feel suddenly like that exultation, the like excitement that comes out of your body, that can be a sign as well. Usually it comes out of nowhere. Spirit guides also communicate in words or phrases. So there's a lot of instances, if you go on the internet, of people hearing the word stop at a stop sign, stopping and not wanting to go, and then a car comes barreling through. That is a spirit guide trying to communicate to you. It happens frequently. So those words that they're giving you are kind of indication of something that they want you to pay attention to. Sometimes it can be a little less obvious. So if you've got songs or song lyric meant something to you, they will send that song to you over and over and over again until you kind of get it and acknowledge it. They can also send subtle images or symbolic impressions, or sometimes they repeat it over and over again. Or you keep seeing elephants. It could be an actual elephant, an elephant print on a t shirt, an elephant showing up on TV, something like that, where you're seeing the same symbol repeated over and over again. Thoughts that feel kind of dropped into your head, this kind of like sense of knowing something, those are also sent to you from your spirit guides. What I just described to you is consistent across spiritualism, ancient religions, but also this kind of more modern metaphysical definition of spirit guides. They're all sent to do kind of the same thing, but the goal is always the same, to get your attention, to guide, and to support you. Your job isn't necessarily to hear or see or feel them perfectly, but just to pick up on those subtle signs and allow them to come close to you. Let's talk about a few tips. Practice is key here. So if you sit in a meditation and don't get anything from your spirit guides, don't give up. Sometimes it takes a couple of different tries to notice the subtlety of what's coming through. My next tip is to ask for specific guidance. So instead of kind of just being like, give me any and all guidance, You can say things like, I would like guidance around this career decision I need to make, or I would like help with the relationship with my sister. And then you will get a little bit more specific information back, and it might be easier to pick up on those signals. Also, asking these questions with a clear mind really helps, but then also just waiting and seeing what comes. Generally, it comes pretty fast, but if you're new to this practice, just give it a few minutes to open up. If you start to feel or see something repeated, that's the message. So sometimes I'd be like, that can't be the message sitting in this meditation. It can't be a wheel. Why would it be a wheel? But sometimes it's a wheel. And then you say, okay, I'm acknowledging the wheel. What does the wheel mean? And kind of dig a little deeper. And then you will get more information and it might make sense. But if you just ignore the wheel, they're going to be like, I'm showing you what I'm supposed to be showing you. Why aren't you acknowledging it? You can also ask your guides to come a little bit closer. That can be helpful, especially if you're new at this and you want them that information to come through clearer. If you're not getting anything, you can say, can you come a little bit closer and have me feel your presence? And so, my last tip is actually what we're going to do right before we get into this meditation. So, I want everyone to take a deep breath and just state out loud, I want to connect with my spirit guides. I will allow them to come close to me. I am looking for guidance on, and then fill in the blank. Then I just want you to notice what happens in your body. If you start to feel a subtle shift or a settling, and then we can start this meditation that kind of helps you connect to your guides. It's really helpful to set your intention first before you go into it. All right, let's meet your spirit guides. We're going to start with a very gentle meditation. So let's all take a moment, and I want you to close your eyes. As you sit in your chair, take several deep breaths in. And as you release, allow any tension in your body to fall away. With every inhalation, you should feel that flow of energy from the top of your head to your tippy toes and fingertips and center of yourself. As you exhale, allow that energy to pick up speed and get a little faster. With this next breath, allow the energy of your body that's flowing as you breathe to expand beyond the confines of your physical self. Imagine that energy field expanding into the room in which you sit, larger and larger with each breath. As you do this and as you grow that power, invite your spirit guides to come close to you. Ask them to take a step closer. Notice what you sense or hear or see or feel or know about them. Ask them to take a step closer, getting as close to you as possible, overlapping their energy field with yours. Now, ask them to take 3 big steps backwards, out of your energy field, and notice the difference. Again, ask them to come closer, as close as they can. When we set our intention, we said we wanted to meet our spirit guides and receive their guidance. At this time, ask them to come forward and say to them, I would love to receive guidance on this subject. Notice whatever comes through. Take that initial information and hang on to it. If you're a little bit further along in your spiritual practice, reach a little further. Ask for clarification or a deeper dive on the information given to you. If you don't understand it, ask for a bit of clarification and be patient. Next, let's ask our spirit guides what they would like to be called. You can also ask them, show me how you would like me to see you. Or tell me the words that you wish me to hear. If you need a few more minutes, you can pause my voice and continue on this meditation on your own. If you're ready, say thank you to your guides for all of the information they've given you. Thank them for their guidance and let them know you'll reach out to them again soon.
When you're ready, come back to me, wiggle your toes, take some deep breaths in, and open your eyes.
Welcome back. If this meditation worked for you, I encourage you to check out some of my other videos on intuition and spirit guides, and check out my website for more information. I have ongoing classes to help teach you about your intuition. Your intuition is already speaking to you. Your guides are standing next to you. It's just about learning the language to connect with them. I'm Emily Snyder from Connected Intuition. Stay open, stay curious, stay connected with Connected Intuition. I'll see you next time.